right, welcome everybody to Strong. Strong is about communicating as global communities. It's about bringing women in season 1 together. We are going to have 3 seasons. It's a social project. By the end of our 3 years, we will have included boys, men, family, and community in this journey. Strong is about having real life conversations. It's about taking off the mask and bringing out the voices of all people. We want to stop marginalizing feelings and thoughts, and we want everyone to feel supported and connected. And most of all, most of all, I want to be supporting our youth around the world. It's time that they start looking at women every day, women around them, their mothers, their daughters, their sisters, their friends, their grandmothers, the lady down the street, the lady they met at the supermarket. These are our superheroes. And my dream is that I don't just talk about it, that I actually create platforms, but I cannot do that alone. I can only do it with the support of all of my sisters, my brothers, my children around the world. So thank you for being here with us. Tonight we have an amazing conversation lined up. We're going to be talking about what are the impacts of beauty on self-confidence with females today. And it doesn't matter how old we are or how young we are. I really do feel that the topic on the table today is a topic that everybody has an opinion about. So let's bring it to the table. With us this evening, we have 3 amazing women. We have Sapida Musavi, who is a people and culture coach. She's a corporate trainer and facilitator, and she is a mother of 2 beautiful daughters. She is a woman of the 21st century that doesn't only stand up for those around her, but she also comes to us with life experiences and her challenges in life as well. So I'm so excited to be sharing the table with Sapida Musavi this evening. Together with us, we also have Julie Miles-Lewis, who is a speaker, adventurer, and resilience coach. She not only is the mother of 2 beautiful stepchildren, she is also a woman that works with women all over the world, taking them on adventures and helping them reach their most confident state by doing things that take them outside their comfort zone. It is so exciting to be here with Julie and with Sep. And then of course we have the beautiful Khulud Abouisha, who is a personal stylist, a style consultant, a color expert, and an image consultant. And she does some amazing work with females, with women. And her motto is, we want you to feel comfortable with your clothes, with the colors that you choose that make you most beautiful. And as we can see, she is bringing beautiful colors to our platform this evening. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to have you join us on this conversation. Wow, I am speechless at how phenomenal and how fabulous it is to be having this conversation with all of you and to be able to share it. I know that we have teenagers on the call, and we have women, we have mothers, we have women who are just phenomenal at what they do, and we're all coming together to discuss this topic. So let's start with the first question. And I think I'd like to direct this question to Sep. Sep, the question that I'd like to start the panel with this evening is, what do you believe in your experience as a people and culture coach, but also as a woman? What is cultural beauty, and how do you believe that beauty differs culturally?
Let me start by thanking you for initiating this conversation, Maria. It's so amazing to know you. And to know that somebody is helping the generations to come. So it is a topic that is very relevant in today's society, and especially with the influence of the media. And to be honest, it's very close to my heart as a mother, as a woman, as an entrepreneur, as a future grandmother. But it's for so many years when I was younger, I lived in Iran. So I was born in the UK, but I lived in Iran. And I was in between 2 cultures because my family was very so-called Western, because my father was in the military back in the UK. But we lived, we had to come back to Iran, and I lived in a very fixed mindset, limited belief system of culture in Iran, which was very, very different to what I was used to. So for me, it was a transition, and although I was quite young, but it's in those years that you can really see the impact the most. So for many years before I went back to the UK at the age of 18, 19, in my opinion, I was doing quite well at that time. It wasn't until I went back to the UK that I realized what a heavy and huge influence my Middle Eastern culture had on the way I was doing things, on the way I looked at myself. So to start with, I was overweight for many, many years. And those years, for me, that was a physical appearance was something that mattered probably the most while whilst I lived in the Middle East. It was huge at that time. But when I went back to the UK, I realized that different cultures through very different perspectives, very different lenses. And now I don't want to stretch this for too long, but if we think about the long neck woman of Thailand, or if we talk about the stretched lips of some Ethiopian ladies, or the earlobes of some African tribes, if we think about all of these, and when we look at the pictures of these women, for us it might be different to the way that they would interpret beauty. So every culture has a different interpretation for beauty, but what is important and is very significant and common in all the cultures is being uniquely you is beautiful, and it's common across all cultures. So this is something that you cannot take away, and it doesn't differ from one culture to another.
That is so, so amazing. And beauty is kind of that international understanding. I won't say it's a word. I think it's an understanding that we all tend to share, and it doesn't matter where you come from. Everybody has their version of beauty. And I love this conversation about cultural beauty, and we're going to come back to it, I'm sure, in the next parts of our conversation. But moving it forward, I'd like to bring Khulud into the conversation. And I know that you work with women and you help them feel beautiful, and there's this whole perception of what beauty should look like. How do you see that working with your clients? How does color and clothes and fashion have an impact on what beauty looks like, and then eventually on the impact of their beauty on the outside, building on their beauty and self-confidence on the inside?
Hi, Maria. Thank you for this initiative. Hi, my panel friends, Sep and Julie, and the audience. Happy Mother's Day. Most important that we as women, we have our needs. And every woman who approaches me for a style consultation, there is a need not met. So it's about claiming your own natural beauty and not compromising it. This is what I always encourage, because we have our own assets. There are ladies who don't have the resources to maximize these assets. There are ladies who really don't have the time to invest to maximize their beauty assets. And there are ladies who life happened and they just neglected themselves and they want support. So several kind of ladies would come to me and really claiming and our beauty and not compromising our beauty, because beauty is inside outside. And for me, my part is looking good is really feeling good. Feeling good is it has impact on our well-being, our personal well-being. It has an impact on our surrounding people that we encounter with. So it starts, as we know now, with you, with the self. So I accommodate needs. And different ladies, different women, it depends from where they're coming, their culture, their background, they have certain needs. So what I do really to accommodate, just to maximize their own beauty by looking into their personality styles. They need to learn about their personality styles. There are different ones, their natural colorings, what colors would suit them, and their body shape, their body lines. And really, the power of color is, it has really impact on the psychology of our being, and also what you want to put forth in whatever you're doing in your life. You're going to work, you are with your children, you want to set a kind of atmosphere in your surrounding. It starts with intentionally what you're wearing, what colors you're choosing. So it's a joy and freedom to know these aspects of yourselves.
So powerful, isn't it, Khulud? The power of color and the power of our self-confidence. And moving it on to confidence, I know that, let's bring Julie into this conversation. I know, Julie, that you travel with women around the world. And I know that not only are you an adventurer, but you're also a coach as well. How do you believe the mindset has an impact on their self-confidence? And do you see that beauty has an influence on the mindset when you're taking women around the world?
Yeah, thank you. It's a great question. I'm so excited to be on the panel and with this group of women this evening. And from my side, really, I think beauty and confidence is really very much an inside job. There's lots that we can do on the outside, but I think the priority is what's going on inside. You know, what's this self-talk? What are we saying to ourselves? Are we saying, you know, our inner voice? Are we saying, you know, I feel strong, I look great, I'm having fun, I'm enjoying this, I choose to, I've decided to, rather than, you know, I'm not wearing the right thing, I don't have any confidence, etc. So I very much play around, because my background is in sports sciences, how we're thinking, how we're eating. So we're eating foods that energize us, how we're moving, you know, exercising our body, letting all those feel-good hormones come flowing through, the endorphins, anandamide, dopamine, serotonin, and then how we're sleeping, you know, getting a good night's sleep. I think we can all put our hands up, and when you've not had a good night's sleep, then you know, foggy brain and not really feeling the best the next day. So it's, I always say, you know, don't make any big decisions if you've not had a good night's sleep. So I really think, you know, the confidence is experiencing new things that take you slightly out of your comfort zone, that are changing the way that you're seeing the world, what you're seeing, hearing, feeling, and experiencing. So I think for me, you know, we flex this muscle of confidence by doing things, having new experiences, meeting new people. And really, this self-talk is super powerful. It's the mindset, you know. Think beautiful thoughts, change your focus, and things that you experience will change. So yeah.
So I love that you brought that in, think those beautiful thoughts, because I know with having teenagers on the call, I really want to stress the idea of authentic beauty and being comfortable in our own skin. And I know that as a woman who used to be really, really taking care of herself, I was that woman that never left the house without feeling as great as I possibly could. And then passing through those months of grief, I seem to feel like I'm not ready to come out with color, with, you know, with looking the way I used to look. And I sometimes think how the youth also portray what they believe about beauty, and they're so concerned about what other people think of them. And what do you think? I know that, Sep, that you also have two daughters, and they are getting closer to those teenage years. How do you see that what other people think having an impact on your daughters, knowing that, you know, beauty is an international thing, and it will be so different depending on where you come from in the world, and what you feel and how you feel is going to be personal, isn't it? How do you see that playing in your role as a mom in trying to raise your daughters, but also understanding that you're also a woman and you're also a role model, not only for your daughters, but for your clients and for everyone that looks up to you?
To be honest, I think it's I would agree with the Khulud and Julie both. I think it's a consolidation of both inner and outer beauty. So when I was overweight and I didn't feel pretty enough and worthy enough, I always had this psychological issues with my outer beauty as well. And then once I got over all of that, then I started to go through falling in love with myself and loving myself with the way I was. Then my outer appearance has changed as well. So it's a bit of both, and having a balance in general with everything in life. So this is what I try to teach my kids, and this is not about beauty only, it's about everything. I always tell them the balance is the key to success. So with everything, if you have a balance with anything and everything, then you can, in a way, you can learn to have it all. Maybe not all at the same time and not all together, but you can have it all eventually. But I just want to go back to the point that Julie made, inner journey. I think the transformation for me happened when I went down the path of inner journey. It's not easy. They don't teach it at the schools. It's not something that even my children, I try my best to teach them as much as I can, but there is so many barriers, specifically with in today's society, with the media, with everything else that they're learning from everywhere else. My daughter keeps telling me, "Mommy, please, I've had enough. I know myself. I am aware of myself." For me, it's self-awareness and understanding where you are, who you really are, what your are, where are your strengths. This is the only way. For me, it happened at a young age because I was overweight, and the only way for me to connect with other people was through my strength, which wasn't my physical appearance, but it had to be my personality. So then people would love me for who I am, because they couldn't love me, in my opinion, they wouldn't love me from the way I looked. So I had to, for me, it was a lesson learned from experience, from pain, from a place of pain, which was fine. It made me the person that I am today, and I can never be thankful enough for that. But for a lot of people, it could be your attributes, could be being very intelligent, could be being a very positive person, knowing your strengths and just putting all your focus on that. I think this is the most important thing. So you know what you are good at. We all have something that we are good at. Knowing yourself and then putting all your focus on that, as opposed to focusing on where you may think your weaknesses are. So this is, in my opinion, that's where it's just focusing all your energy on on strength and self-love.
And it's so important. And I know that we keep telling the youth to do this, but it's really the rite of passage. I think it's really about life experiences and how we go through those life experiences. It's always when we're looking back, isn't it? Khulud, do you see that with your clients, when you're working with your clients, that as they are nearing a more confident stage in their life, they're able to look back and say, you know what, if I could go back, I wish I would have told myself not to care what other people thought. Do you see that it makes a difference as we get older, that we are more confident? Or do you think beauty is still something that we're struggling with regardless of our age?
I see that everything, every part of our lives and path is valid because we didn't know better. So whatever they knew, it was the best that they knew. And whatever now they're looking forward to become, this is where they are. So it's not about looking back and regretting anything. It's just about, it's a journey, and it's about the satisfaction in each part. Now, Sep, she shared something about her childhood. I would like to share something because it's relevant also. I was the opposite of Sep. I was the wobbly bubbly, very stylish, colorful, all of the years of my life. And then I had an incident in my life where it was a trauma for me when my father passed away. So I neglected all of that, and I didn't accept. I'm just sharing this with you because through my life journey, because I was condemning my intellect, okay? And then what made me reconnect to this inner beauty, outer beauty, and this colorful, and paying attention to the beauty in everything, in ourselves and outside, the material and non-material. It's inner connection that this is what I need to offer in my life, because believe it or not, I was approached and even paid to do with my skills, with loving this beauty and living in beauty organically without having any certification. And then I decided I will be certified, and I did several certifications in the style. I'm a stylist from Color and Beautiful UK, and color expert and image consultant. And I did several workshops and training also as well in New York. So this is what I'm just sharing, like a step that our pain brings us to our natural gifts. So I really encourage, and any young and whatever age you are, there is no age I say I will claim my beauty and I will take care of myself. No, it starts whenever you want it, and it's really like you start anything new, it's always nice to experiment, to learn. It's all about learning, and it's really science to know your color, to know more of your personality that's always changing, and to use this beauty, the style, the self-expression that you are in your life, that's changing always, and enjoy it.
That's beautiful.
So,
Thank you. I like that. Enjoy it. Enjoy your beauty. Enjoy your style of beauty. Julie,
yes.
how do you see women when they come on these adventures and they come to you to build their confidence and to do the uncomfortable, because it's that adventure that they're looking for? You talked to us a little bit before about the mindset and how important it is to build on that mindset. How do you see beauty playing in those adventures that you take women around the world? And what differences do you see with women that are more connected to their inner core and that having that stronger mindset?
First of all, I think we all know that when we travel to incredible places, that we know that we're going to be surrounded by beauty just from nature, by looking at the colors and the patterns and the energy that nature brings to us. And, you know, we're all individuals. We all have a kind of favorite colors, favorite styles. And I always encourage the women. I mean, obviously we create team fleeces, and which are one color that hopefully looks great on everyone. And what colors you like, you know, bright colors, because actually I can see people way ahead if they've got, you know, fuchsia pink and purples and lime greens instead of the normal kind of blacks, browns, grays that we used to get in adventure clothing. So I think, you know, it's really exciting for people to experiment and be bright and wear funky hats and just quirky things, you know. And I said, you know, what would be a one kind of luxury item to take on an adventure? And for some, it's lipstick. For sometimes, you know, I'm not going to leave without my mascara. Everybody's very, very different, you know, and we just enjoy the culture, the colors, the ambience of nature, and you know, experiencing what we're like when we're tired, cold, and hungry after, you know, hiking up Kilimanjaro. You know, I don't think anybody cares what they look like. They just want to get to the summit. You know, it's really quite funny when we did Everest Base Camp back in 2003. Where you have a beanie on for quite some long time, and then after about 5 days you take it off and it's like bad hair day, you know. And it's just fun. It's fun, and these experiences, you know, build your character and your strength. So when you have that hot shower and you dress up when you're back in the city for, you know, your celebration, then it's a huge contrast from being out in nature wearing the proper clothing, you know, waterproof gear, great boots, etc., and then coming back to the city, but then just flourishing with beauty because you've been out in fresh air. So your skin's glowing, your hair's shining. I mean, everything just resonates beauty. Yeah.
That's so interesting. And you're right. We get to a certain stage where we're doing an activity and we all become this, you know what, I don't care anymore. So let's dive a little deeper. I want to get a little more, let's bring the reality. Let's bring the elephant out of the room, as they say. Beauty, attached to beauty, I feel, is a lot of judgment. And I know, Sep, that we talked a little in the beginning about the cultural differences of beauty, but we have to be realistic. There's stereotypes behind beauty. And we see that sometimes these stereotypes can be really harsh. And regardless of how old we are, the realities of the stereotype and the judgment attached to something that should be connecting us as humans, like you said, Julie, the natural beauty of nature, we're always surrounded by it. But the reality is that beauty is marketable, it's profitable, and a lot of organizations are really doing well based on the need to feel beautiful, right? So let's bring the elephant out. Do you see the judgments in the work that you do, Sep, in the cultural work that you do? Do you see that we can become beauty bullies? And do you feel that there is a way around it to help the youth? Because I think as women, we tend to fall into some of those stereotypes, sometimes consciously, and I think sometimes unconsciously as well. So how do you see that coming into your practice, and what kind of advice can you give not only to the youth listening to the call, but to the women on the call as well, to get them through those challenging days?
I think everything in life is about choices. So if you make a choice to be impacted by something that somebody says to you, or to allow, to me, it's a matter of not allowing and giving this privilege to somebody else to control my life. You can only control what is within you and what is within your control. Just look at the situation now with COVID-19. I'm not going, I personally, my suggestion to every young lady out there is to know yourself, to know your trigger point, to know what makes you happy, to know what makes you sad, to understand that you are in control. And you cannot let anybody else or anything else or any company or anything control you. That it's fine. Whatever goes outside, external, it's fine. But you cannot let anybody give. Linking your happiness to other people's opinion is cancer. I think this is what the problem is. No one should be allowed and should have that privilege to make you even think that I'm not good enough or I'm not worthy enough. And that's for culture, or for people, or for companies, or for anything and everything that we are surrounded by. And I personally wouldn't know that unless I went down this journey of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. If you don't know yourself, it's so easy to let other people control you. And people love to sit there and judge you and talk for you, etc. But it's up to you as a person, whether you are allowing that or you're going to value your own opinion above everybody else's.
So I'm hearing, and I can see Sahar was giving you a thumbs up as well. So what I'm really hearing is, what is the impact of self-confidence on beauty? And I think it's bringing confidence to the forefront and saying, beauty, you don't own me. I'm confident in my skin. I decide how I will use you in my life, but you don't define me. Is that what you're coming across and telling us?
Well, I think it's also self-esteem. Quite different to self-confidence. Are easily linked and misunderstood, but I think it's knowing yourself and being comfortable with yourself. And then there is the matter of lowering your expectations. So I think this is something that I keep teaching my kids. Do not expect everyone, and it shouldn't really matter to you what the other people's expectations are. This comes from my own Middle Eastern cultural background, because in my culture the expectations are very high. But if I sacrifice my own happiness to fulfill other people's expectations, and that includes my culture's expectations as well, then that takes away something from me. So I always think about everything twice. And I'm teaching my kids this as well. I said, always think about it. What the yes that you are saying to fulfill somebody else's expectation, make sure it's not a no to you.
Exactly. I love that. It's empowering. So let's bring out some more gremlins out of the closet. I would like to talk about social media right now. We're all on it. We're all using it. We're using it right now. It's what connected us this evening. And it is a power on its own. And beauty is really all over social media, isn't it? In influencers, even in everyday people, whether it's the clothes you wear, the makeup you wear, we're all expressing ourselves with beauty. Khulud, how do you see confidence in being empowered on social media where beauty and fashion is concerned?
Really, it's, I agree with Seth, but I will say it in a different, yani it's in a different context. It's about knowing yourself. Style is self-expression. Fashion is the tool. This is my saying from my humble experience. So it's all about your self-expression. The more you know yourself, what you like around you, the more you know yourself, the more you're feeling satisfied and having confidence. So the Instagram, the social media is a tool to get us inspired, to get us, let us make prototypes, let us, get inspired in which role model I like to be. Yani who is my role model in this style? Because I have, let's say, clients will come to me and they are aspired to certain style or a self-expression, let's say. So I really connect with her from that level, to know her personality. I will know her better to accommodate her. So we would look and get inspired through the social media. So it has, if you're grounded in your being, so it's a very good asset.
I love that. Yeah.
Yes, and then if it's only just copying without having any intentions for you, it's really overwhelming, and it tends, for us as adults and also children, it tends to take us over and really distract us.
Exactly.
So it's really it's everything with intention. This is, as she said, expectations. What you have expectations from others, it's not taking from you. I say the same for myself and for my children, that what is your intention? Because when you have clear intention, whatever it is, I am, let's say, doing this out of courtesy, I'm doing this out of selfish mode, I'm just aware. So everything with awareness, with intentionality, it works. We take the best part of it.
Amazing,
So
amazing. I like that. Social media can be a tool. I like that.
Yes.
So be strong within yourself. Say yes to your values, to your owning your self-confidence, using the beauty as your tool. And Julie, one last question, because I know we have questions coming from the audience as well, but just one last question. I'd like you to give us some suggestions on, I mean, you take women on the most challenging of adventures. I think if I had to think about getting outside my comfort zone, climbing Kilimanjaro would probably be right at the top of my list. You must see women going through these phases. What tips can you offer women listening in and young teenagers listening in that could empower their mindset? So you don't just deal with the surface confidence, you deal with that inner confidence. That's what they need to take them through that challenge. What would your tips be for these listeners today?
When I put Yeah, I think basically the kind of women and teenagers that sometimes comes with, as a mother and daughter, father and son, because men are allowed on some of the expeditions. Then basically what draws people is the adventure, saying yes to adventure. Maybe they're looking for a challenge, a change of scenery. They've always wanted to go to that particular country. They've always wanted to try dog sledding, to just really push the boundaries a little bit. And I've had lots of Emirati women that have come on dog sledding trips, and people say, no, you'll never get an Emirati woman to go somewhere where it's cold and they have to stay in a tent. And I said, I think I will, and I had 12 women that came to Antarctica, to the very ends of the earth. And I think it's a choice. And then really having conversations with them to say, this is the clothing that you're going to need. This is the training that I recommend. This is, the mindset training about, what do I need to say to you when you're tired, cold, and hungry? What would motivate you? Is there a song that you sing? Is it something? And really, it's a collective. It's team support. It might be individuals, but we're all as a team. We have a common mission to get from A to B, or to achieve something, or just to actually be in nature and just be us. I'm not somebody's mom. I'm not Mrs. So-and-so. I'm Sarah, I'm Jenny, I'm Julie. That you're with a group of women that have all had very different experiences and backgrounds, and we've come together with a common mission to be in nature, just to be ourselves, to be alive, and really to experience that. Fear really comes of the unknown. Am I able to do this? Do I have to be able to be a triathlete to be able to come and do this? And I think when other women see the pictures and the videos from our expeditions, they kind of think, well, gosh, they're all shapes and sizes, all ages, all nationalities. So if she can do that, then I can do that too. So I think it's just encouraging people to push boundaries, to challenge the norm about what we don't and we do. What one person does and one other one would never do that. And then inspiring others in the process, and I've loved it when I've seen mothers and daughters on trips, and the mum is not been on a bike for a while, but her daughter's a whiz on the bike, and then the mum's a good kayaker and the daughter's not been on a kayak before. So, and we all support each other. It's not a competition about a race getting there first. It's, unless it's a boat race, of course, and then we're all like, oh, we've got to get there first. But I've found that it's always been a very, very supportive network. So I think just give it a go, think about which country would I like to go to? What would I like to do and experience? Yeah, thank you.
So top tips for building your mindset, Julie, I heard you say, push the boundary. It's really your choice. Identify what motivates you. Get comfortable with the unknown. Challenge the norm of what should be and what shouldn't be. And then don't forget to build those teams and inspire other people. Those are fabulous, fabulous tips for building our mindset. So just before we open the Q&A, ladies on the panel, what would you like to leave us with? What is your secret nugget that you want to summarize your feeling of beauty and confidence on women today? Seb, let's get it started in your direction.
I would say just think about life as a book or a movie. You are the director of your own movie. You are the writer of it. You are the producer of it. And you are the main star of it. And this is the movie of your life. Don't give that privilege to anyone else. Unless you want them in that life, don't give this privilege to anyone else to direct it for you, to write it for you and produce it for you. It's your life. Design it, engineer it the way you want to live it. And stay away from toxic people, judgmental people, negative groups.
Beautiful.
Unless they bring bread on your table, them and their opinions and their judgments do not matter.
Excellent.
My children as well every single day.
Beautiful. I love it, Seth. Khaloud, your last thought of the evening, and before we open the Q&A.
Maximize your own natural beauty and never compromise it. Learn. It's always learning about you. The more you master yourself, the more you are very beautiful in your own beauty. And live colorfully. And colors, there is color for everyone. It's how you wear it and what you wear it with. Beautiful. And I want to add something. I wore yellow today because it's to send opportunities for everyone who's attending, and also optimism. So yellow bring this. This is one of the aspects, several aspects of the color yellow.
Beautiful. And
Thank
you look
you
beautiful.
for
You
being
look
with us.
absolutely beautiful. Julie, your last thoughts of summarizing beauty and confidence.
I think, you know, love, 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 love yourself. I think it was Oscar Wilde said, love yourself. It's the beginning of a lifelong romance, or be yourself because everyone else is taken. And I think have some fun exploring with different colors, different fashions, different trends, different things, to just have fun with it, you know, and giggle at yourself when you put something on, you think, you know, just, you know, have some fun. I tend to have fun with jewelry. I wore my bear this evening because the bear is for strength. And so it might not even just, you know, be colors, it could be signature pieces. But I think the main thing is just explore, do what brings you joy, wear what brings you joy, and be your unique self. Don't follow the, you know, follow the sheep, be go where everybody else is doing. Just, you know, be your own unique self. And I think that's super important.
Fabulous. Thank you, ladies. And I'm now going to go to the panel. So Sahar, I see that you have your hand up. I'm going to unmute you and go ahead. You can ask your question.
Thank you, Maria. It's really more of a comment, if I may.
Go for it.
I'm really enjoying this. I think you've done a good job getting the right panelists together.
Thank you,
It's so
Sahar.
inspiring to hear each one of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very passionate about the youth, like you are, and in my way, I'm always trying to give my 6 nieces advice, whether they ask for it or not. But I just wanted to mention this. Before COVID, you know, before the lockdown, I attended a meditation class with a couple of girlfriends, and we are all over 50. I'm 57, my friend is 54, and the other one is 52. And I don't know what we were talking about. We were sitting next to each other waiting for the class to start. And I said something. I said, I don't care. I'm 57. And my friend said, so do I. You know, I don't care. I'm 54. And the other one. And then the 3 girls in front of us, you know, they were like in their 20s and early 30s. They all turned around at the same time. And they looked at us and they said, what? You're over 50? And they couldn't believe it. And I think it's really inspiring, because when I was young, I thought that in my 20s, I'm going to have gray hair in a bun and be a teacher, and I'm going to die at 33. Because when you're young, everyone else is so old.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to kind of connect with life, style, weight, colors, new adventures, because that's what makes you feel alive. And I don't feel a minute older than 30 or 26 or whatever it is, you know?
So beautiful.
And
Thank you, Sahar.
you brought this on a different level, which is really wonderful. So thank you, all of you. Thank you, the 4 of you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sahar.
Sahar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm now going to mute Sahar and unmute Amal. Amal, I see your hand has been up. What would you like to ask the panel?
Nothing. I'm enjoying the debate. No, nothing.
Oh, excellent. Thank you, Amal. Thank you so much.
We'll take that as a high five.
It's a high five.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else that would like to ask the panel any questions? Okay.
I'd just like to
yes,
comment
Julie.
on what Sahar said, because I'm 58 and I don't care either. It's just like, what do women do when they're 58? They do what they choose to do. It doesn't matter, you know. I think values are more important than age. You know, you've got 20-year-olds that are doing things. You've got 60-year-olds and 70-year-olds that are going back to university and skydiving and all the kind of things. So I think your strengths and your values, which we mentioned earlier, are just so important. What's important to you? You know, top value for me is my health. You know, that's top value. So what I do everything that moves me towards that goal, and I'll wear clothes that help me facilitate that, you know. So my sports and adventure clothing is much more than my regular clothing, but I do have a little corporate cupboard, but the rest is just really very, outward.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Sep, Khaloud, Julie, and everybody for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Sep and Julie.
It has been such a pleasure to have the panel and to hold space with the 3 of you and bring us all together. I love that we have teenagers and women across the span of cultures and age and belief system. And the one thing that brings us together is the curiosity of creating conversations like this. So thank you for joining us. Next month, we'll bring the conversation of financial independence and the impact that it has on confidence in women around the world. We are not forgetting men, we are not forgetting boys, but season 1 is all about celebrating all things female. I hope to see you there. Thank you all for coming, and I look forward to enjoying many, many, many more of these conversations. Have a safe evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Woo-hoo.